All right, we're here with Coach Patrick Hager, Houghton College men's and women's track. We're starting off with indoor track. As we can tell, the weather keeps us from going outside too much, and we got the great Kerpakula Athletic Complex in the field house here to perform in. Coach, talk a little bit about the indoor season, what you saw in the first meet in December, and what your thoughts are for the rest of the meets going forward this spring.
Sure. Yeah, we're bigger this year, which is great. So we had a lot of PRs in the first meet, which is, I think the amount we had was a little uncommon, which was great. Setting the bar high to start off with, but just a lot of depth. I think that's the thing we're looking forward to, especially down the road for E8s, is depth to spread out our entries to different events for podium finishes and getting points, and also having some people who maybe the first year or two weren't necessarily contributors in a points perspective, but now are like thinking, wow, can you get on the podium, and sort of score for us a little bit. So yeah, stoked about that. We're competing today again, so we'll kind of see where we picked up off of that December meet. Then we have just 4 or 5 more meets before E8s that'll continue to just get us, good seating, good heat placement, good marks, and see what we can do.
The history of this team, and is a lot of times building off the cross country and the distance runners. And for the women, both teams placed well. The women winning conference. What kind of confidence does that build going into track? Does it translate, and does it translate to the rest of the team having a conference championship in a sport where a lot of those athletes carry over?
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Yeah, I would say 100%, and it's really cool because some of our top distance runners, there's a good buzz. They have a pretty good relationship with some of the other E8 runners who they've had nice battles with, and so there's a lot of projection about what that looks like, especially over a 2-day track meet, because it's a lot different than lining up for one race and cross and going and then being strategic in a 2, where most of those athletes are doing multiple events and how they come back from that. And I really like our athletes' toughness in the past coming back. Tyler Duschel winning back-to-back 5K and 10K outdoor. Shelby's done really well with that too. And so, and even our men, who were right in the mix for cross, we've got a lot of depth there. And I think we train a little bit harder for those longer distance races than some of the other conference teams. I think they tend to go more towards the middle distance events. So, really looking for our guys to sort of flood that podium, or at least put ourselves an opportunity in like the 5K and a 3K indoor.
Okay, so you're building off of those long distance. Where are some of the other points going to come from in some of those other maybe middle or sprints or jumps or throws? Where else are you looking for points out of, and who are some of the key people to watch?
Yeah, I think for women, we've got a lot of depth there too. Ashley Lydiard has proven to be one of the top weight throwers in the conference, so I think she's ranked second right now and is maybe the second or third returner from last year. So she definitely has a chance to maybe even win that event, or get 8 or 10 points out of that. We've got some chances in the pole vault, a couple on both genders that could snap some points there. And then kind of our long sprint middle distance events for both genders are looking really good. Our women's 400 has always been a pretty strong event, 4x4 as well. And for the men, I think the 800 is going to be a really strong event for us this year. So all over the place. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but
for the women, some of the names, Gwen Stokes and Edina Sanchez. How are they looking? And they placed well in conferences in recent years.
Well, Gwen's always been one of the top high jumpers in the conference, so there'll be a couple of people in there with her. Girl from Naz, usually someone from Fisher, but she'll be right in the mix for that. And she's also a big part of our 4x4, which is placed high, and she's coming on strong as sort of a 400 runner too, so she can maybe podium in that too. Edina, she's the standard for her, which good or bad is to win. She can win the 400, the 800. Be a part of the 4x4 that could possibly win too, and so I think she accepts that pressure and knows she's one of the class of the conference for those events. So I think it's appropriate to have that pressure for her.
Who are some of the new faces that people might not know that their names will start appearing in some of the top spots?
Yeah, I think Ali Wisniewski for the women is a freshman. She comes from a good program, highly successful. I think right out the gate, she's someone who could snap podiums in the 60 hurdles, the 200, part of our 4x4 open 400. There's some options there. And for the guys, there's a lot of up and comers. Like even Nathaniel Zadomi, who's a junior now, he kind of finished last year, sort of a little bit of not a surprise, but he's now going to be someone who could compete for an all-conference spot or a top 2 or 3 spot in the 400, and be right in there in the 200 too. Who's just progressed really slowly, not slowly but nicely, I guess is the way I want to put it. Hayden Williamson in the high jump is a freshman. She's talented. She's jumped really well in high school, so we'll see how she progresses with that. She could snap a podium spot as well. Those are just a couple, but yeah, there's a lot of new faces, which is great.
Okay, what type of progress where do you see your team progressing by the time, and we're hosting indoors this year again, and how is that important, and where you think we could place coming indoor track?
Well, I think last year the men were 4th and women were 5th, and we lost Stevens, so we hope to move up a spot with that. But in addition, I don't know. For our women, I keep thinking that like the way the points are going to break down. I don't know much about Fisher and Utica and Naz yet, but I think we can be right in the mix there for a top 3 finish for them and for the men. For the men as well. So top 3, I think, as a team is what we're aiming for, trying to score more points than previous years. But with Stevens gone, there's a lot of podium spots open, and so that's what we've been talking about. We've been talking about like someone's going to fill those spots, so we've got to try to make it be us.
And how important is that hosting, and what's that mean to you guys mentally and emotionally?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I mean, I think the great thing about it too is it's right. Last day of classes before break is Friday, so in some sense, I think the athletes are just going to be able to be like, okay, well, this is what we're doing. There's an energy with hosting. There's a lot of community that come out to watch that. And since it's a 2-day meet as well, it's just going to allow us to 2 days overnight just to focus on just track. And we did it 2 years ago, and the energy was amazing. And I think we sort of bumped up our performance because of it. So I don't think that can be understated.
Good. All right. Congratulations on a great fall, and hopefully it carries into the spring and through the winter and into the outdoor season. Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks.